Hello and welcome to the second round of the single elimination stage of the Noctournament. We are starting off with Seaside, which I chose. Now looking at the board, I noticed straight away that there were no villages on it, so the amount of action cards that you could put into your deck was a touch restricted. There was Imp via Tormentor, but that takes a large number of turns to get to. Because remember, Tormentor has to be the only card in play for you to gain an Imp. So perhaps you could get something going with Imp into Pearl Dive and then Imp into something else. Bit difficult to string together, honestly, with no trashing on the board. But Imp is a good card in general. The Imp does not like the duration cards, by the way, so even if you put something aside, when you play the Imp, it doesn't select the Haven as a possible target for the Imp because it's already in play. So that's something I noticed with the Seaside duration cards here, or any duration card and the Imp. Another card that draws here, and it seems quite useful, is the Shepherd. I haven't spoken about Shepherd yet, but it was previewed quite early, and it is pretty strong. It opens with an Heirloom Pasture, which you'll see on my next hand. So, looking at the board here, I thought about a couple things. You could go for the Ghost Ship, and I think Ghost Ship is important, so you could go for something with Ghost Ship and money, but I wanted to try to get an Imp quite early and then see what I could do with the Imp from there. So that means getting the Tormentor down rather quickly. We both open with a Shepherd and a Silver, looking for $5 here, I believe. My opponent gets a second Shepherd here. So now the Shepherd discards green cards, and for every green card you discard you get 2 cards, and it's non-terminal, so that's quite excellent. A lot of draw. You liken it to Crossroads because it interacts with the green cards in your deck. So here my opponent picks up a Ghost Ship on his 5, and I also have 5. Think about the Ghost Ship, definitely see the value of a Ghost Ship, but I am gonna stick with my Tormentor plan. It mightn't be good, it doesn't sound very good in my head even while playing the game, but I mean, let's try something different. Let's see how good Imp is, how influential 1 or 2 Imps can be in this game. So here I have the option of putting the Shepherd back with the Estate and just picking up 3 cost or a 2 cost. Instead I chose to put the Coppers back. I can recover them with just this 1 Estate and the Shepherd here. I don't really have, the reason for me doing that here, I remember now, is because there is the Tormentor in my deck now, and if I had put the Shepherd back with the Estate, may have found another Estate, may have found the Tormentor, and then it would have been a little bit uncomfortable with the 2 actions there, the Shepherd and the Tormentor. So I wanted to try to get the Tormentor alone to pick up an Imp, and it works out here. My opponent goes for a second Ghost Ship. I did pick up a Smugglers there. Not entirely sure about that because I do want a Ghost Ship as well, so I am a bit over terminal at this point with the Ghost Ship, Smugglers and Tormentor. Perhaps Silver or Pearl Diver or Haven is even better there than the Smugglers. Didn't think about the terminal situation in my deck, but it evens out as the game goes on. The deck gets bigger, of course, so it's not so bad. The more cards you put into your deck, the terminal collision that is. So my opponent gets up to gold on his last turn here, so he seems to be playing something very straightforward with Shepherd, Ghost Ship and money. This Imp chains very nicely here to this Shepherd, and among my many action cards in the deck, I do choose to play the Ghost Ship. I think it is very important. A constant Ghost Ship attack I still think is perhaps the most inhibitive, is that a word? Is the attack that slows you down the most in Dominion, that damages you the most, that damages your deck the most rather. Anyways, another Shepherd for my opponent, so he's 3 on those. I have 2 of them. I might be looking to pick up another one here as well, and I do manage to get the Tormentor chain to the end of this Imp. Not the greatest thing in the world because I can't gain an Imp, but I will take the province straight away here, partially because I have the Shepherds in the deck, and it means there is a greater chance that the Shepherd will find a green card and I'll get a couple cards out of it. As you see here, Shepherd with just the 1 green card kinda counters Ghost Ship. I wouldn't go so far as to say counters Ghost Ship, but it can recover whatever it is you were forced to top deck, as it does here. Again, going to prioritize playing this Ghost Ship. I think it's very, very important. It causes a lot of problems. It makes your opponent ask themselves a lot of questions. Do I put good things back on top of my deck, or do I put bad things back on top of my deck? A lot of questions they have to ask there. So here I do put the Shepherd back. That one is a bit more obvious because there were no green cards in my hand, so I'll probably find one, hopefully, on the next shuffle. And I do have the opportunity here to change this silver into a changeling. I think about it. Could gain another Shepherd, another gold perhaps, but I decide that the silver is better than the changeling and go for a Haven here. The Haven should be very good, especially in the light of Ghost Ship attacks. The Shepherd here does not come with green cards, unfortunately, but I still see enough money to pick up a gold. So I believe my opponent has one more gold than I do, but I do have the province somehow. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he has not been able to pick up a province yet. He has the Ghost Ships, he has more Shepherds. Well, now we have the same number of Shepherds, but he had more Shepherds than me for the majority of the game so far. So perhaps he's not drawing as well as he would like. I do get to smuggle a gold here, which is excellent. Very, very happy about that. I was a little bit dubious, a little bit worried that my smuggler's buy would not pay dividends, but that gold alone was worth it to me. That gold alone was worth it. So very nice chain in here with the Imp and the Shepherd, getting to see 6 cards of the top of my deck here. I will play the Ghost Ship Haven here. Obviously going to set aside the Shepherd for the next turn. Hopefully there'll be green cards and I'll get to draw with it. And I do actually manage to draw into enough money to pick up another province. So that's my second province and my opponent has the 1, right? One other thing with the pasture is that it makes estates worth 1 more point because you get, and the pasture becomes more valuable the more estates you have in your deck. Third Ghost Ship for my opponent here. He could have, he probably did consider the duchy at that point, but didn't want to go for it, feeling that the third Ghost Ship was probably better. I was worried during this game, that I would be under that constant Ghost Ship pressure for some period of time. It never actually panned out for my opponent, which I guess is bad draw for him. I think was only ever under their influence once, right? And then the next turn I would be okay and didn't have to top deck anything. So I do get to a province there, putting the tally at 3-1 for my opponent. Top decking gold and silver here, looking for province on my next hand. Not quite there, but maybe if I discard with the Shepherd. Oh, more decision. So this is why I don't want to be under the Ghost Ship pump all the time. This time, instead of top decking the treasures, I top deck the Shepherd and the province because I really don't want gold, silver, silver to miss the shuffle. I would rather have that shuffled in and perhaps the Shepherd can find it if I discard a bunch of these cards here. So this time no Ghost Ship from my opponent. I'm very glad about that. He does pick up a province on his previous turn there. So we are 3-2 on those, but he has 1 up on me with the duchies. Not too worried about that though. If I can get to 4 provinces faster than my opponent, that should put me in a good position. Talking about good positions, this is brutal. This is one of the hexes, perhaps one of the stronger hexes in the game, Misery. First time you see it, that person gets -2 VP, and in a game like this, where there's no extra buy, no extra gain really, there's our smugglers, but I might draw it dead, who knows when it's coming, you know. Hey, I forget the that I should have played this Haven first because the Imp cannot chain to it. I was hoping to chain the Imp to the Haven, then play the Ghost Ship, but like I told you at the beginning, the duration cards don't play so nicely with Imp. So the Misery in a symmetrical game like this is actually a big deal. It breaks the symmetry. I don't have -2 points while my opponent does, and that just puts me in a very, very good position here. We go about buying some duchies here and there, but I'm just really looking for enough money to pick up the last province. That should put me, 1-0 up in the match here. So I don't think there's much my opponent can do, especially if I can keep up on the duchies as I am able to do here. And eventually I do get around to purchasing the last province for the win. So I'm not entirely sure how I won this game. I thought that what my opponent was doing was better, playing something very simple and with the shepherds, the ghost ships, and enough money. I'm not really sure how much the imp had to do with this result, but it definitely was useful the times that I did find it. So I don't know, you could tell me what you think about it. I thought I just got a bit lucky here to win this game, honestly. Alright, so that is game 1. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.